Coming up on UK Student News Network, live at 4, Kentucky voters have elected a new governor.
Matt Bevin came up about 5,000 votes short, but he has yet to concede the race.
And we'll also take a look at the other races, including the historic one for Attorney General.
And in sports, the Wildcats pulled off the big upset last night in the city that never sleeps. Find out who led the way. UK Student News Network live at 4 starts now.
Hello, I'm Elena Kwan.
And I'm Jordan Colquitt. Thank you for joining us.
Tonight we begin with the results from the election last night. Kentucky will have a new governor after a hard-fought and close race. Democrat Andy Beshear won the gubernatorial election, defeating incumbent Matt Bevin. With 100% of precincts reporting, Beshear won by less than 1%. Beshear dominated in Kentucky's urban areas in Louisville and Lexington, as well as some traditionally Republican suburban counties. Beshear maintained his focus throughout the race on kitchen table issues like healthcare and education. UK Student News Network's Tessa Howard was at the Democratic Watch Party and joins us in the studio for a closer look at last night's results.
At last night's watch party, many supporters were cheering, dancing, shocked, and even fired up. Beshear's victory was a big step for Kentucky's Democratic Party.
Elections don't have to be about right versus left. They are still about right versus wrong.
After a neck-to-neck race, Kentucky Attorney General Andy Beshear was able to win against Governor Matt Bevin. Beshear was led by thousands of votes, with 100% of precincts reporting. Many Kentucky voters claimed that they wanted a new wave of change at the polls.
I want to see a change in the way teachers are being done. I feel like teachers mean a lot, and they don't get paid enough in Kentucky. And it's a shame things that have been said about the teachers.
Bevin was met with statewide protests in Frankfort after cutting Kentucky teachers' pensions. 10 school districts in the state were shut down for multiple days in the 2019 legislative session.
I'd definitely like to see teachers get paid a fair salary, a way better one than what they're getting.
Educators, I know so many of you worked hard on this campaign, and I appreciate every single hour.
Beshear captured 49.2% of the votes and led Bevin by less than 0.4% of the 1.4 million total cast of votes. Beshear declared victory in the tight race, but Governor Matt Bevin says that he will not concede just yet.
Let me say that while this was a very hard-fought election, I know elections are difficult on families. So let's all wish this governor and his family the very best.
Reporting in Louisville for UK Student News Network, I'm Tessa Howard. There is no automatic recount in Kentucky. If Matt Bevin begins to challenge the votes, he will have a petition in Frankfort Circuit Court and pay the entire cost of the recount. Elena and Jordan, back to you.
Thank you, Tessa. Kentucky typically votes Republican in the presidential election, so does a Democratic win come as a surprise? Political science professor at the University of Kentucky, Stephen Voss, says no.
The Kentucky voters are cross-pressured because they're much more conservative on social, moral, cultural issues than they are on economic issues. So the electorate can move back and forth depending on what the election is framed as being about. And if it's seen as about lunch pail, pocketbook issues, a lot of these so-called conservative Kentuckians may be willing to vote for a Democrat.
There have only been 2 Republican governors in Kentucky since World War II.
UK Student News Network's Alex Brinkhorst was at the Republican Watch Party last night and joins us in the studio with details on the mood of the Republicans after the loss. Alex?
Well, the energy was positive throughout the entire night and remained that way after Governor Matt Bevin declared he would not concede.
And I will say this, I will be the first one in line wishing well to my opponent if he ends up as our next governor, because guess what? We live here too.
Governor Matt Bevin refusing to concede after a neck-and-neck race with Andy Beshear. Joshua Barrett, one of the guests at the Republican Watch Party, commented on the results of the race.
You know, it's a very close race, and I think we saw a lot of high voter turnout. so that's good. We saw that across the state. It looks like the Republican slate really did well, and honestly, so did Governor Bevin's campaign. I'll be very interested to see what this recount shows, and I'll be excited to see what those results are.
However, even early on, there was some question as to what would happen if Andy Beshear was to win. Cameron Durham, a senior at Martha Lane Collins High School who worked on Ryan Quarles' campaign, had this to say.
I don't know, because if all the other seats are full of Republicans, then there's going to be a standstill, I believe. Might be some gridlock with also a Republican legislature, but we'll see what happens. I think no matter who wins, I hope the best for Kentucky and the Commonwealth, and we'll see.
It was down to the wire, with Beshear winning out with only a little more than 5,000 votes, which is only a fraction out of the 1.4 million people who voted. The Associated Press listed this election as too close to call, and as you see before, Matt Bevin said that he wants to go through the process and hasn't fully conceded. I'm Alex Brinkhorst, UK Student News Network. While the race for governor was a close loss for Bevin, the Republican wins in the other offices kept the mood positive throughout the night. Elena and Jordan, back to you.
Thank you, Alex. Here are the results from the other races in yesterday's election. For Attorney General, voters elected Republican Daniel Cameron. Cameron is engaged in a contentious race with former Attorney General Greg Stumbo winning by 15 points. Cameron is now the first African-American voted individually to statewide office in Kentucky's history and as Attorney General.
And so we have a responsibility in the coming days to work with whomever, regardless of you have a Republican designation by your name or a Democratic designation by your name, to make sure that we're doing everything we possibly can in the Attorney General's office to improve the public safety outcomes for the men, women, and children of all 120 counties.
In the Secretary of State race, Republican Michael Adams defeated former Miss America Heather French Henry to win. Adams defeated Henry by 4 points.
Republican Mike Harmon was reelected as state auditor, defeating Democrat Sherry Donahue. Harmon was first elected to office in 2015.
Republican Allison Ball was reelected to serve another term as state treasurer, winning by 22% over Democrat Michael Bowman.
Republican Ryan Quarles was reelected as Ag Commissioner with 58% of the votes. He defeated Democrat Robert Conway and Independent Josh Gilpin.
Turnout for the election exceeded expectations as more than 1.4 million Kentuckians from across the state showed up to vote at the polls. 42% of the state voted, which was most higher than 32% by the Attorney General Allison Lundgren Grimes. Fayette County had a turnout of 47%, while Jefferson had a turnout of 46%. Franklin County, which is home to the state capitol, had the highest turnout of the entire state at 57%. Coming up next, we'll hear about two wireless giants who have proposed a new merge.
Republicans of the Federal Communications Commission seem to be for it, while the Democrats of the commission not so much. Find out why next. Welcome back. Two wireless companies have proposed to merge, and McDonald's is out of a CEO. Sarah Simon Patches joins us in the studio with an inside look.
The Federal Communications Commission approved a proposed merger of two wireless giants on Tuesday. T-Mobile's $26 billion acquisition of Sprint would combine the nation's third and fourth largest wireless carriers. Republicans and Democrats on the commission disagree on the proposed merger, and many states are attempting to block it in court. The case is expected to go to trial next month. The 136-year-old grocery chain Kroger debuted a new logo and slogan on Wednesday. The chain, which has been struggling against competitors, is attempting to modernize its brand. Kroger's new logo has a new font, no blue circle, and features the new slogan, Fresh for Everyone. In addition to the new logo and slogan, Kroger has lowered prices, increased digital shopping initiatives, and launched home delivery services. Kroger isn't the only company making a change. Facebook has updated its branding with a new, colorful logo. The social media giant said it's making the change to differentiate between Facebook as a parent company and Facebook the app. The new logo changes between blue, green, and hues of purple, red, and orange. blue for Facebook, green for WhatsApp, and red for Orange and Instagram. This move makes it clearer which products are part of the Facebook Collective, a change that comes as the company promises to be more transparent. November is National Diabetes Month. While there is no cure, Mary Maloney reports there are ways to manage it.
It's a disease that impacts more than 30 million people, and officials say 1 in 4 Americans don't know they have it. Diabetes. It's caused by high levels of blood sugar resulting from defects in insulin production. According to the CDC, it's the 7th leading cause of death in the U.S. Diabetes types 1 and 2 are the most common forms. 9 out of 10 diabetes patients are diagnosed with type 2 or adult onset diabetes. That's where your body doesn't produce enough insulin or use it correctly and is unable to keep blood sugar at normal levels. With type 1, also called juvenile diabetes, your body makes little to no insulin. And while there isn't a cure yet, you can live a healthy life by managing your lifestyle. A person can lower the chances of developing type 2 diabetes by losing weight, maintain regular physical activity, and follow a healthy diet. Keep an eye on possible symptoms, such as frequent urination, excessive thirst, and slow healing wounds. People with diabetes are at higher risk for serious health complications like heart disease and stroke, so it's important to maintain your regular checkups. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
If you are looking for a festive new drink for the holiday season, Coca-Cola and Sprite may have you covered. Coca-Cola is trying something new with their Cinnamon Coke, while Sprite is trying to spice up the holidays with their new Spiced Cranberry Sprite. Coca-Cola says this is the first time they have planned to release a holiday-themed soda in the U.S. That's all for today's Franchise Report. Elena and Jordan, back to you.
Thank you, Sarah. And next in sports, Kentucky took a trip and beat number one team in the nation. Find out more next.
So Jordan, did you watch the game last night?
I did, and it was an amazing game. I think that Kentucky basketball played great last night, but Brett Alper's here, and I think he's going to tell us more about the game. Brett?
College basketball season is back, and what a way to start with number 1 against number 2. Michigan State taking on Kentucky in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. First time ever in the same week both number 1 and number 2 face each other in football and basketball. It started off as a close one, but what an absolute show by freshman Tyrese Maxey. The kid was putting on an absolute clinic, especially from beyond the arc. Inside, outside, it didn't matter. 26 points for Maxey off the bench as Kentucky beats Michigan State 69-62 in the State Farm Champions Classic. But also Calipari, that'll put him 6-4 against number 1 overall. The only coach to ever do it. Now, the basketball team may have taken away your thoughts from this rocky football season, but the Kentucky football team is back in action this week after a second bye week. The Cats are currently 4-4 with the Tennessee Volunteers coming to the town, and with a bowl game on their mind, offensive coordinator Eddie Grant spoke yesterday on how important the second week was to the bye team, for the team.
You know, if you wasn't quite sure about, having 2 bye weeks during the year, but you couldn't have asked for a better time. And just for what you said, an opportunity to add some more stuff and keep building on packages. And, you got, 2 quarterbacks that you can do different things with. So that's been really good for us.
You can catch the game live at Kroger Field Saturday at 7:30 p.m. or on SEC Network. Now, sticking with football here, the Tennessee-Kentucky rivalry has been always chippy, but it might have just escalated. Take a look at this. On Tennessee's campus, there's a large rock that students paint messages on. Well, some Kentucky fan decided to paint "Go Cats" over a Tennessee homecoming scene. Now, I'm not for vandalism, but I find this to be great. Now, the rock has since been covered up, but it's interesting to see how this rolls over to Saturday. Some former Cats made the Kentucky name proud last night around the league. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dribbles the ball up the court, goes around the screen, and hits the fadeaway jumper. His versatility shows. Gilgeous is currently averaging 20 points, or he currently has 20 points with 5 games. Now, of course, Anthony Davis slamming it down from LeBron. The Lakers look really good this year. I think they might be a title contender. Take it. Now we have Jamal Murray for 3. Bang! Great day for the Cats in the NBA. Now, guys, how about that rock? Like, who would have painted that?
That's
I have
crazy
no
to
idea.
me. Like, what timing, honestly?
Exactly. I didn't even think that there would be Kentucky fans in Tennessee. I feel like the state rivalry is big. It's
big.
there, and
If you're
I just
in
wouldn't
Tennessee,
expect it.
you hate Kentucky, and if you're in Kentucky, you hate Tennessee.
Exactly.
So, who could have done it?
Exactly. That's so crazy.
Thank you, Brett.
Well, the temperatures look good coming up. Temperatures look good today, but coming up, we'll tell you what's next for the weekend. It was so great to walk outside today and actually not need my winter coat.
Yeah, it's feeling great. Let's see if it lasts.
Okay, let's do that.
As you can see, it'll be 60 today, mostly sunny, with a low of 45. Later into the night, it's going to rain probably going into the night, so we'll see how that affects everyone's day. Tomorrow, you can expect showers, so bring your umbrellas. It'll be a rainy day. Low high of 50, low of 24. Starting Friday, the rain is going to cool off a little bit, but the temperature is going to start dropping a little bit with a high of 39 and a low of 25. And on Saturday, the same story, mild temperatures, but the sun will be poking out again on Saturday.
So I'm not going to need, well, it looks like I'm going to need my winter coat and a rain jacket.
Absolutely. The weather's going to be all over the place this week. There's going to be rain starting tonight and into tomorrow, but it looks like that'll slow down once we get in later into the week and on towards the weekend.
Yeah, to me it looks like classic Kentucky weather, honestly.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, with the sun coming in on Saturday, we won't have a rainy game like we did when we played against Mizzou.
Absolutely. You're going to have to be prepared for all kinds of weather this week.
Exactly.
Thank you, Kennedy. Up next, find out when and where nachos were created for National Nacho Day. Stick with us.
Nacho lovers, today is your day. It's National Nachos Day. Nachos were invented in the 1940s in a U.S.-Mexico town border. Ignacio Anya, nicknamed Nacho, was working in his restaurant when the wives of some U.S. soldiers came in to eat. He came up with the food combination of nachos, and the rest is history. Wow.
That's incredible. I mean, I love me a good nacho.
Me too.
And you can get it like anywhere around here.
Exactly. And today is National Nachos Day. Yesterday was Taco Tuesday.
What are the odds? Like,
I
it's
love
just
this.
meant to be.
I love this.
And honestly, you can get really good, probably good nachos and tacos at Corte Lima, Local Taco, like
Cinco de Mayo.
Exactly.
So many good places in Lexington. to
I
get some good
totally
tacos.
agree.
Yes.
Well, that's all we have for. I'm Elena Kwan.
And I'm Jordan Colquitt. Have a good night.